Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Beautiful Ships and Where to Find Them. Today, we're going to be showing off four different creators. I happen to know three of these gentlemen. They are all absolutely fantastic at their work. By the way, if you're a BFG creator and you make your own minis and you want me to show them off in one of these videos, come to my Discord server or comment down below with a link, and I'll be happy to look through it and show them off if I think they're beautiful enough to display. Today, we're going to start with a good buddy of mine, Fusion Shipyards. Now, Fusion Shipyards has a reasonably limited number of ships currently, though he's making some really cool stuff for the future. But the reason why I wanted to view him right now is because of all of the options for making a demiurge fleet. He really has some of the coolest and wildest designs. If you just take a look at what I like to call the great escalator nightmare of his interpretation of the bastion, I'm sorry, of the stronghold battleship. Let me see if I can get a better view. There we go. Look at that thing. Imagine the elevators that are necessary on that sucker. But regardless, he is making a really cool interpretation of the demiurge that has a far greater Votan feel. As you can see right across here, you see the imagery that the Votan have. All of these I guess would it be a bust? Would it be a facade? I'm not sure. But the look and feel makes it look unique compared to the rest of the Battlefleet Gothic ships, and it can again easily be used as a stronghold battleship. But I love it because it is just so insanely vertical. For because the Demiurge slash Votan are so squat, it tickles me to know that they are having to deal with the world's worst elevator wait times. But he also has created the a lot of ships for things like you have a light cruiser here for your bastions. You have so if you need a citadel, these work fantastically. They also have multiple different prows and options for them. They have a standard baseline cruiser with, again, multiple different prows if you like yours with a mustache or with your cutting beam. And you have two different forms of escorts. Now, these are debuted in Book of the Void 2. So if you want, you can go and take a look at that book to see what these fun little ships do. They are really cool. And of course, he has a transport, but it's a full fleet demonstration. He even has ordnance for them, if it'll load. You gotta love the internet, right? Now, Fusion Shipyards is also very vocal and very responsive to his work. So if there are issues or problems, let him know, and he'd be happy to see about potentially fixing them. But I just love the look. So you have your fighters here, your bombers, which look like they're just drones with canisters of toxic waste. I love that look. And you have your assault boats. So uh, that's that. But also he has areas in the Imperial Navy. He has a couple of escort options, which look really cool. I really like his interpretation of the light cruiser. Can be effectively used. Let me see if I can get a better image of that because they're all cut off. There we go. So these are basically options for taking a Dauntless. Now, it may not look like it, but these actually are about the size of a Dauntless when it comes to their actual scale. I actually have a couple of these. If you like a far sleeker look to your Dauntlesses, these are a great option. He also has a bomber tab for BFG, but he has nice little escorts too. But one very important thing that I like is he has an entire area of free stuff, like entire ships, his own version of the Imperial Navy cruiser, which looks absolutely ridiculous, and I absolutely love it because it looks just like a big, chonky, stubby ship. It's amazing. But, he also has .BFG order dice, the actual basis for Battlefleet Gothic, all free, just sitting and waiting here. So that is Fusion Shipyards. I highly recommend them if you want to build a Demiurge fleet, and you don't mind a more Votan style, which is definitely what you're going to get here. All right. The next one is a bit of a curiosity that I stumbled across. This is Space Fleet Battlefleet Yamato. Yeah, that's right. The guy decided to make an entire BFG fleet off of Battleship Yamato, and I absolutely adore these. I'm probably going to, with a little bit of modification, build this into a Battlefleet Armageddon fleet, simply because I love the design here. There's something about this aesthetic that I absolutely adore and that I feel, belongs in Battlefleet Gothic. And it was made for Battlefleet Gothic scale. So all of these ships do have turreted options. Some of them have. So all of these turrets have multiple options to put in, so you can heavily customize them. If you've ever watched Battlefleet Yamato, you know that these ships are not actually indicative of the Earth fleet, but they are actually representative of the Japanese battleships of World War II that have been Yamato-fied. So and of course, they're cruisers, they're escorts and destroyers. These are all wonderful ships. They're beautiful when printed. I'm going to be building a whole fleet of them because they just look so good. So, the only downside to these is RF Hobbies does not really respond to any messages sent to him. He hasn't responded to anything in like a year, which is a bit of a dang shame because I really wish we could get a couple of modifications on these things to replace some of these cruiser level ships with a larger, a wave motion gun prow. But I'm also really tempted to be the ultimate weeb and make BFG rules specifically for these ships because this has actually made me start watching Starship Yamato 2199, and I'm loving the anime. So getting my weeb out of the way, let's move on to the next one. This is the My Mini Factory page for Lee McColl, or everyone calls him Lee Coco. Now, most people know him for all of his work on World War II ships for an entirely separate game. But he does have some Battlefleet Gothic ships, and his ships are positively gorgeous in design. I absolutely adore them. This is his Emperor. As you can see, it is nicely gribbly, lots of towers, lots of areas and turrets. Lee is in our Discord. He is a absolutely wonderful gentleman and has taken any criticism of his work with a surprising amount of grace. His ships are really, really cool. He has taken a wonderful interpretation of all of the Battlefleet Gothic patterns and styles to make them look not only from Battlefleet Gothic, obviously Imperial Navy, but have their own feel to them. So these patterns are great. I would love to build a fleet in these. These are absolutely ridiculously awesome. He has multiple different bridge towers for them. He has a battle cruiser option as well. Let's see. He has Cobra destroyers. He has a second cruiser design. Ooh, these are nice. I haven't actually looked at these. This is a far sleeker and more advanced look. Now, these are Endeavors, Endurances, and Defiance. These are light cruisers. That's a really cool design for them. I like that. I thought that was an entirely different pattern. I guess I'm wrong. Okay. He does actually seem to have a different pattern here for the Gothic cruiser. Looks like a different style. Again, very advanced looking. I like it. That's a nice little lunar there. Let's see. And of course, so basically what he's provided here is everything really but the escorts. And escorts are generic enough that you don't really have to worry about it. But these are very cute little cobras. I like them. I would love to see him make a firestorm, a falchion, and a sword just to, fill up the rest of it. Now, this doesn't all have all of his work. He does have other stuff elsewhere. He just isn't very good at keeping everything in one place. So, Lee, if you're watching this, consolidate your BFG stuff in one place, please. But either way, Lee is fantastic and his work is beautiful. And now we're going to go to our final place. This is the work of Keiler, I guess is Keiler? Unfortunately, he's very German, but regardless, his work is fantastic. His obviously his linchpin work here are his phenomenal chaos vessels. He has both chaos battleships. He has the uh, uh, Grand Cruiser, but he apparently has and he has one that's also supported, which is nice. He has escort craft, and he has your standard cruiser. In effect, you have the entirety of the Chaos list in a very classic style. And so if you like the old pewter and plastics, this is a fantastic place to go for them. Now there are two versions. There is a wide cruiser and a slim cruiser for those who desire a more classic or a more streamlined look. What I really like is all of these individual turrets on this Acheron are nice, have that design of individual placement of large turrets, which is something that a lot of Chaos ships kind of lack, that beauty of form and function. There's also the slim version. I figure it means that these are just more aerodynamic. He does in fact have the individual bays for the cruisers, but very classic with a little bit of a modern touch. He also has a Dark Mechanicus option. I only two options: a torpedo launcher, and it looks like an escort. That just 1 second. All right. And of course, BFG accessories, which are always handy. So again, so that's all four of our excellent, amazing creators. When it comes to Lee and it comes to Fusion Shipyards and it comes to Keiler, they are all active in the Discord server. So ask them questions if you want to know details about their work. Beyond that, I hope you all enjoy their miniatures, purchase them with great abandon, reckless abandon even, and have a wonderful day.